sent me this right here on X today. Now I know y'all wondering what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? Now he stated one of the co-founders of the new league is following Caitlin Clark. See the pictures below. It's interesting.
Okay, so I'm looking at this follow list you just saw, and it's not random. When a CEO only follows 1,200 people on Instagram, and 3 of those follows are Caitlin Clark, her foundation, and Sophie Cunningham, all added within the same week. That's not casual interest. That's business in motion. And the businessman doing the following is Grady Barnett, co-founder of Project B, the Saudi-backed women's basketball league, which is about to reshape professional women's basketball. Here's what makes this significant. Barnett isn't some social media personality chasing clout. He's a serious executive building a legitimate sports property with backing that dwarfs anything the WNBA can offer, and he's not following these players because he's a fan.
Oh yes, he's not just following. He's not just. This is serious business here, bro. And Caitlin Clark is a recent follow. See, this is a recent. These two are recent, bro. Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. Joelle Lloyd. Now, her signing was announced yesterday. God.
Notice the pattern emerging here. Barnett isn't just following Caitlin Clark. His Instagram reveals a strategic target list. Sophie Cunningham, Jewel Lloyd, Alyssa Thomas. These aren't random selections. These are the WNBA's most marketable stars and proven champions. And the timing matters because these follows appeared after Project B's official announcement in December 2024, but before any player has publicly committed. What's particularly telling is the one-way nature of these connections because Caitlin isn't following Barnett back. Neither is Sophie. Neither is anyone else on his target list. And that's exactly what you'd expect during confidential negotiations, as players maintain plausible deniability while executives do the groundwork.
All boats when it comes to women's basketball. Similar to how Caitlin Clark was. When Caitlin Clark came, it was a big splash. That's how this Project B is about to be. It's about to be a splash so big. It's going to fix the Caitlin Clark pipe. It's going to fix the women's basketball because the interest is there. It's just not entertaining to watch. And what is one of the main things that can fix entertainment?
Let's talk about what Project B actually represents. This isn't another half-funded startup that'll fall after one season because the league has Saudi Public Investment Fund backing, the same fund that launched LV Golf and turned that sports economic model upside down practically overnight. Remember when LV Golf started offering guaranteed contracts worth $5,200 million? PGA Tour players who'd spent careers earning $5-10 million total suddenly had impossible decisions to make. Now apply that same financial disruption to women's basketball, because the WNBA's maximum salary for 2025 is $241,000. And Caitlin Clark, despite being the league's biggest draw and selling out arenas across the country, made $76,000 as a rookie, with her 4-year contract topping out around $1,000, but those numbers are about to look pointless.
And I truly believe that this co-founder is about to possibly sign Caitlin Clark. So for all the people saying what they want about Saudi Arabia, but all these different said things, I'm here to tell you, I believe not only Caitlin is going to sign, Sophie is going to sign as well.
Project B isn't operating under a collective bargaining agreement. They're not bound by salary caps or revenue sharing formulas. They can offer whatever the market will bear. And for a player like Caitlin Clark, who drives television ratings higher than NBA games and sells more jerseys than anyone in women's sports history, the market will bear a lot. Reports suggest Project B is preparing offers in the $5 to $10 million range for their marquee signings. And for context, that would make Caitlin Clark one of the highest paid women's basketball players in the world, potentially earning more than some WNBA teams' entire rosters combined. But here's what makes this particularly complicated. Project B games would be played during the WNBA offseason from November through February, so technically players could do both because the league isn't positioning itself as competition to the WNBA. They're positioning themselves as the premier offseason destination, replacing overseas leagues in Turkey, Russia, and China, where WNBA players have traditionally supplemented their income.
Caitlin Clark is currently working out, getting ready for the 2026 season. Now, something that stuck out to me that someone sent me, shout out to the homeboy Mike over at Twitter, is this CEO and co-founder of Project B. This guy right here is a serious businessman. He's not just the internet guy. He's a serious guy and somebody you definitely want to pay attention.
That projection isn't hyperbole, so think about what happened when Caitlin entered the WNBA in April 2024. The league's average attendance jumped 23%, television ratings for games featuring the Indiana Fever increased by 400%, and her jersey became the fastest selling in WNBA history. Within 3 days of the draft, the Fever went from playing in half-empty arenas to selling out every game, home and away. It's a great way to be understands that Caitlin Clark isn't just a good player, she's a cultural phenomenon who transcends the sport, and signing her doesn't just give them a talented guard, it gives them instant legitimacy, guaranteed media coverage, and a built-in fan base that will follow her anywhere. And if Caitlin signs, everyone else follows because that's the cascade. So if Sophie Cunningham becomes more likely to sign, it's because she'd be playing with her friend, and veterans like Sue Bird or Diana Taurasi might come out of retirement for one massive payday, plus international stars would jump at the opportunity. One signature unlocks the entire market.
Is going to sign as well. Now, Caitlin Clark, I didn't check to see is Caitlin Clark following him. Let's see. Let's see who's following him. There I go, following him. Let's check Caitlin. No, Caitlin's not following him. Let's do Sophie.
So, let's address the elephant in the room, Saudi Arabia's human rights record, and the controversy that will inevitably fervently any player who signs with Project B. This is the same criticism Aili Vigol faced. Players were accused of sports washing, helping Saudi Arabia improve its international image through sports while ignoring the country's restrictions on women's rights, LGBTQ rights, and political dissent for women's basketball players specifically. The optics are complicated because the WNBA has positioned itself as a progressive league, advocating for social justice, LGBTQ rights, and women's empowerment, and several prominent players including Breonna Stewart and Brittany Griner are openly gay. Plus, the league wore Black Lives Matter warm-ups and dedicated the 2020 season to social justice causes. Now, those same players are being offered life-changing money by a Saudi-backed league, and the cognitive dissonance is real. Can you advocate for women's rights while taking millions from a country where women only gained the right to drive in 2018? Can you support LGBTQ equality while playing in a league funded by a government that criminalizes homosexual? But here's the counter-argument that players will make. Why should women's basketball players be held to a higher moral standard than male athletes? NBA players have been playing preseason games in Abu Dhabi and taking Saudi money for years without facing the same scrutiny. Plus, the PGA Tour, after initially condemning LIV Golf, ended up merging with them and taking Saudi investment, and American corporations do billions in business with Saudi Arabia, so the double standard argument has merit because male athletes get to separate business from politics. They get to I'm just playing basketball or I'm just playing golf without being expected to answer for every policy decision of their league's financial backers. So why should Caitlin Clark or Sophie Cunningham be expected to solve Middle Eastern geopolitics before accepting a PhD? And then there's the practical reality. WNBA players have been playing in authoritarian countries for decades. Diana Taurasi made over $15 million playing in Russia for UMMC at Ekaterinburg, more than she made in her entire WNBA career, and Brittany Griner was literally imprisoned in Russia, with players having competed in Turkey, China, and various Middle Eastern countries, often under regimes with questionable human rights records. The only difference now is the money is big enough to make headlines. This is the calculation happening right now behind closed doors because Caitlin Clark is 22 years old and and she's already the most famous women's basketball player in America, possibly the world, and her current WNBA contract will pay her roughly, but Project B is reportedly preparing an offer worth $10 million or more for 3 months of work. From a pure financial standpoint, it's not even close because $10 million is generational wealth. That's set up your family for life money. That's never worry about money again. That's fund your foundation and actually make a difference money. And she can still play in the WNBA during the regular season, but the backlash will be intense. Social media will explode. Think pieces will be written. Her progressive fan base will feel betrayed. Sponsors might get nervous, and the WNBA might quietly pressure her to decline because this isn't just a basketball decision. It's a career-defining choice that will shape how she's remembered. And here's what makes the timing particularly interesting. Caitlyn just finished her rookie season, and she experienced the WNBA's physical aid, the grueling travel schedule, the modest paychecks, and the realization that even as the league's biggest star, she's making less than NBA benchwarmer. She's seen veteran players work second jobs in the offseason, and she understands the economic reality of women's professional basketball. Project B is offering an alternative, a league where the best players are compensated like the best players, where the money matches the value they bring, where they're not told to be grateful for incremental progress, while male athletes in less popular sports make 50 times more. The question isn't whether the offer is tempting. The question is whether Caitlyn is willing to accept the consequences of saying yet, because once she signs, there's no going back and she becomes the face of Saudi investment in women's sports, for better or worse. And if she says no, Project B moves down the list. They offer the money to Sophie Cunningham, or Jewel Lloyd, or Alyssa Thomas, and someone will say yet the money is too good, and once that first domino falls, the entire landscape changes. So watch what happens over the next few months. Watch for subtle hints in interviews. Watch for changes in social media behavior, and watch for players suddenly going quiet about their off-season plan because something is happening. Those Instagram follows aren't random. Those negotiations are real, and women's basketball is about to experience the same financial disruption that transformed men's golf. The only question left is who signs first and what happens to everyone else when they do. Drop your predictions in the comments. Would you take the money if you were Caitlyn Clark? And hit subscribe, because when this announcement drops, we're gonna break down every